Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Aussie Formula Racing Season 6, Round 11 from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada. We're in the city of Montreal, and I can confirm it's going to be at least intermediate conditions for qualifying. We're yet to hear what the forecast is for the race, but for this Tier 2 session, it's going to be very spicy indeed. The 4.3 kilometre circuit in Montreal. We've got 14 turns, 3 DRS zones, and one very famous corner. The Wall of Champions was very popular last season in Tier 2. We had here Zudix, Psycho and Ibis going 3 wide on the run towards the pit entry, and we actually had Ibis run straight up the back of Zudix, who then catapulted into the Mercedes, glitched through the wall and then was reset to track, but unfortunately Psycho DNFing there. There has been a rule change. In response to that, the stewards have issued a bit of a warning in advance that drivers, when they're pitting, must stay left and must expect all cars in front to stay on track. We had on the final lap last season, Trin and Simdogger battling it out for the race win. The two Williams drivers going in line astern into the final corner. Trin getting a very good run out of the final corner though, just coming across the line in front, but unfortunately his penalties set him back by a couple of seconds. He would have won it by 2/10 had he not picked up some track extensions, which will be very important throughout qualifying and the race here at Canada, where it is very, very strict. We had Pondit and Skins as well, having some issues there. Skins getting sent into the wall. Very lucky not to retire, but did lose his entire front wing from that contact there. It's a very tricky corner to get right just on your own. Trying to do it side by side is almost always going to end in tears. So hopefully our drivers have learned from last time and be in for a clean race today. Just jump across to our race session. Here we've got qualifying underway. So here we go, streams back up. And I'm joined in the commentary box by Polly Pepsi. How are you this evening? I
am great. Not... you can say I'm great, but I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah, a bit of an alright race for you. I think you finished in the points, but...
Nope.
No, just outside. Ah, it's unfortunate.
It would have been points if I didn't hit the wall.
Oh, it's very unfortunate. We're actually in full wet conditions here, and we've got the two Ferrari drivers doing something weird at turn 2. Not quite sure what they were up to, but...
I'll give you the weather. So we, as you can tell, full wet for qualifying, and then the race will be dry with a possibility of heavy rain at the end.
Oh, that's going to be very spicy, and quite often the forecast ends up coming through a little bit earlier than it's forecast to. So, it's Shane Mumford's all over the place. Oh, he's actually hit someone as well. He's hit the Alpha Tauri behind him. I'm not sure what's going on there. Thank you for the follow, Upper Lapillip. If you guys in the chat can let me know if there's any issues with the stream. I have done a reboot and tweaked some of the settings, so hopefully that resolves some of the drop frames I was getting. I'll keep an eye on it, so make sure you give me a shout in chat. We're going to jump on board with Bassa here, who's on the back straight. Hopefully get a decent time on the board, but it looked like the Ferraris in particular are having a terrible time there in the first sector. Bassa sets our first flying lap with the 124.5, immediately bettered by Combat Rat, who does a 23.3, his teammate Psycho with a 23.9 as well. Looks like Bluey is avoiding that lap. Jump on board with the Zelerate, who's about to come across the line. Thanks, Jez. Keep me posted. Unfortunately, I have to turn some of the settings down so it doesn't look as good as it normally does, but
Major Pain.
At least we're getting more than 2 frames. Yes, Major Pain is filling in tonight for one of our Tier 2 regulars. Set to 123.5, so great to see him back in racing. He was a Tier 1 driver for the last few seasons, but unfortunately real life got in the way a little bit last season. He had to drop down to reserve, so it's great to see him back in the driver's seat, and hopefully he gets a good result tonight. Trying to find a driver who hasn't invalidated their lap time, and we'll jump on board with them. Combat goes fastest and is immediately beaten by Baitmate. Actually, I think that's just a glitch where it tells him the wrong driver's come across the line.
Ollie,
there we go.
23 flat.
But look at that, Bait made a second clear of him as Mr. Spice has just clobbered the wall there, the DHL barrier there, and he's invalidated.
Also, Ben did a 22.01.
Great time from him. I think he may have been practicing this week because that's a very good time in the wet.
Combat Rad just turned across and improves his time 22.3, same as Psycho 23.1. I think they. I don't know what's happening. Leaderboard's moving too much.
Yeah, it is. Still got about 6 drivers haven't set times yet, and everyone else above them is constantly improving. So it's the thing with the wet weather driving. It does take a few laps to get into it, as we see Batemate come straight into the pits.
Wingman just clobbered the Wall of Champions on his run, invalidated as well.
Yeah, we see the yellow flag pop up on the pit straight there. Combat has left the session. Hopefully he'll be back in shortly.
Was that Ando or Mika? I think it was Mika. Mika came for start. I think he's starting another lap. And he's got Williams behind him.
Man getting a lot of wheel spin out of the final corner.
I did do a session full wet on Canada before the race, and I can tell there's no grip at all. You're aquaplaning most of the time.
Yeah, you can just see on the left-hand side coming out of the hairpin, it's just so much standing water there. Bit of a dry line forming though. Run up to the pit entrance. So Major's still trying to learn his braking points there at the final corner. Throttle nice and early, just to make sure he can get across. And doesn't improve, he's 5 seconds slower than his last time. So driver's still trying to get used to it. Jump the wall with Ali, he's at the hairpin now. You see, he just runs a bit deep and onto that wet stuff. Big slide on throttle. He's going 4th gear through the final through that hairpin. So he's supported that one. I think a few of the drivers have decided to abort. Jez, so I'm Gus Rules. I'm with Apollo Pepsi in the Tier 2 session. I had Bandcamp with me for Tier 1 slightly earlier. With Decelerate at the moment, who's going through Sector 2. Cobarat thankfully has rejoined. Big lock up coming into the chicane under the bridge. He's doing alright. See Sector 2 split in just a moment. Oh, he's 10 seconds down on his best time, so this isn't going to be a particularly good lap. We're going to jump aboard with Mika though, who's currently 2 seconds down on his time. I wonder if the conditions have actually gotten worse since we started the session.
It might have.
It looks like the rain's coming in sideways by the looks of it, so I think the visibility's dropped quite a lot, and just every car I jump on board with, they're many seconds slower than their best time.
Do you know the Japan one, I'm just going to pull that example. We had that the first safety car in Japan was for the weather. Because it's like it is now. You can't not see where you're going or any car in front of you.
Yeah, you're just coming to the final couple of corners. There's so much standing water. And you can hardly even see into turn 1.
Drivers are going to have to be careful not to rear end someone if they're pitting.
Saxon and Conrad have selected the intermediates, but I'm just not.
I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, just looking at the times people are setting. Skins who's finished his lap.
I don't believe that the rain is going to stop in 8 minutes.
Skins straight to the pits. Yeah, we've got Psycho and Decelerate who are coming into the pits. Jump before with Batemate, who's a division pole sitter at the moment. He's on an outlap and he's on his used wet tyres, so he obviously doesn't think it's clearing up enough. As Saxa does, actually, I'm going to jump on board with Saxa because he's on the intermediate tyres.
No,
let's just have a look and see what this outlap looks like, shall we? It's insta lock up as he touches the brakes.
How's the traction though? It's bad.
He's tiptoeing through the corner there. He's barely putting any throttle down as he goes through. There is a little bit of a dry line though, so
lock up again.
He's about a third throttle when he's on the curb, so he's definitely not giving it the full beam.
Yeah, he's locking up pretty easy. He's not even half throttle or half brake and he's locking up.
Well, he's about to start his flying lap, so we'll stay with him and just see what his delta's like at the end of the first sector. I'm not expecting much. Nope, he's come straight back into the pits, so
he
experiment's
knows.
over. The experiment's over.
He knows. As soon as he went, I was like, I made a mistake.
Yeah, Combat Rat's 1.2 seconds down at the first split.
I think the weather has gone worse.
Yeah, Quantum's 1.9 seconds slower than he was before. Batemate, don't quite have a delta for him, unfortunately. King Shay is invalidated. Ambercat.
Mr. Spicer. Because he's going. Mr. Spicer's going to. Oh, that is bad. Yeah. Okay. So the weather is that bad.
Batemate's coming in. Let's see with combat. See what he's doing.
So Mr. Spicer, who didn't set a time at the start, he's 4 seconds slower than his teammate.
And Mr. Spice is pretty quick as well, so he's by no means a slow driver. So for him to be 4 seconds off the pace of his teammate suggests to me the conditions are much worse than when I said time. Combat Rat's coming to the pits as well. I wonder if these drivers just realising no, the conditions are just too bad. Well, actually, Quantum Effect's 4 tenths up, so I'm putting with 22.2. Okay, so it's looking alright in the first sector at least. I just noticed as well the rain does look a little bit lighter now than it did a few seconds ago, so I wonder if it's just had a really heavy patch.
It's 3.2 up on an invalid lap.
Yeah, Quantum Effect's 8 tenths up now, so I think it's just come good again. So I think everyone's going to want to get back out on track.
We went from good to bad.
Well, Conrad is on the intermediate tyres. Combat selected them as well, so is Psycho. So I think we had a really bad patch, and it looks like it's just come good again.
I don't think it's the right time for Inters though.
Well, I think Quantum's about to go into pole here. And he does with the 121.8. So it's only a couple of tenths quicker than Baymate. But yeah, it's Major Payne's only 2 tenths off his quickest. So it does look like the lap times are coming down again.
Mr. Spicer, who invalidated his lap, his last lap, he actually went quicker. He would have put it in 6th place with the time he did. He's actually got purple sector 1 right now. So he's actually flying.
Major Payne only a tenth off his quickest time now, so he went purple in the second sector.
We had a yellow flag at a hairpin. I think that was Conrad had a spin.
Conrad on the intermediates. Combat Rat just went to wets. Now he's back to intermediates. Now he's back to wet, so he can't make his mind up what tyre he wants to come out of the pits for his final run. It looks very, very tricky out there. But you want to make sure you're on the right tyre, because if you do get it right, you'll be seconds quicker than the others. As Major Payne comes across the line, improves by half a tenth, so he was able to find some time across that lap.
Here comes Mr. Spicer though. He was purple 2 sectors, so he actually might challenge for pole here.
4 seconds up, so that's going to put him into a 21.8. There you go. He's 200ths of a second quicker than Quantum, and it goes provisional pole. So great lap from him. So the wets are definitely quick at the moment. Conrad down there doing a 132.2 on the inters.
I believe Wingman's out as well.
Psycho's come out of the pits on the wet tyre, so his teammate's still in the pits. So I wonder if they've just decided to split the strategy. The combat might wait just a little bit longer. No, he's come out as well on the wet tyre, so none of the front runners deciding to risk it just yet. I'm going to jump on board with Bandcamp, who's about to start his flying lap.
So Ali, he's on his. I just saw a Haas spun around, and that's Ando. Ando's had a little spin out of turn one. Major Pain, I think. No, he's on a cooldown lap. Wingman currently on a push lap. This is the only problem where everyone is on a push lap most of the time.
The halves there in the infield as Bandcamp goes through turn 3. Didn't distract him too much, I don't think. It's purple in the first sector, 3/10 up on his time. That'll put him into the 1:21.8s as well. So the track's definitely coming alive now. The rain's definitely lightened off a bit.
We got both racing points who have started laps, then we got a McLaren or Wingman with Ali behind him to finish theirs. Let's see where Wingman puts his car.
Whoa, Bandcamp is 7/10 up, so it's going to be 21.4. Yeah, Ali just goes to 21.6, but Bandcamp is still on a better lap than that. He'll get a bit of a toe on the pit straight as well.
I believe Delzilla, he's invalid. Same with Vassar. Skins, who's behind, is actually on out lap.
Bandcamp goes pretty nicely through the final chicane. I think this is going to be provisional pole here for Bandcamp in the Renault.
Just a 20.
21.2, 4/10 quicker than Ali. Great lap there from Bandcamp. And he puts it on provisional pole with just a minute and a half left in the session.
I think we might see a 20 at the end.
Bosselev just jumping on board with Batemate now. He's on fresh, wet tyres. Let's see what he can do with those. I have a bit more grip than I think some of the others will.
So we got Bluey. He's going to come across.
Oh, he's invalidated. Batemate taking too much curb there at turn 3.
Got a few cars coming across the line now. Oh, Psycho's out. He's in the
pits, yeah. I think he was able to improve. Ali is matching his previous time, so unless he can find it all in the last couple of corners, he's not got enough to beat Bandcamp's time. Oh, he has a big slide in the chicane. And he improves by 400s, but it's not enough to get Bandcamp. See if Mr. Spicer is backed out of this lap. Quantum Effect is going again.
You can see.
Oh, he's very, very loose in Sector 1. He's nearly a 10th up on his time, but I think he had to get right out of the throttle there.
Quantum currently on the flyer, and he's got combat behind him as well. I think they're all on the flying laps.
So about 10 seconds left in the session, and I think Bandcamp's just come across to start his final lap. Or is it Skins?
Oh, Wingman has a tire. He is in the pit lane.
Quantum Effect, 2/10 down. Thank you so much for the follow, Haribo. How are we doing? That's their combat.
Mika's retired. I think Mika's actually hit the wall.
Yeah, just in the exit of turn 2 there. Hi, Jano.
I think Mika overcooked the rear tires a bit too much. Shane Mumford's going to say his first lap on the... Actually, he's not even going to say the lap because he invalidated.
Ooh, Quantum does improve, goes to 21.731, and Combat, who was following him the whole time, does a 21.738. There's just 7,000 of a second behind him.
Ali Cross, he only improves by 9 milliseconds.
Just jumping aboard with Skins, who's on a fly. He's 3/10 up at the moment. Purple in the second sector. Bandcamp has aborted his final lap. Currently sitting on pole with a 121.2. Can Skins put it alongside his teammate?
King J coming to the end. Oh, he's cooked the rears out of the final corner. Saves it from hitting the wall.
And here comes
Skins.
Skins.
His name was Nut. Nut's done the exact same thing.
Skins had to short shift up a little bit too early. I think that might have hurt his time. No, Spicer he puts it alongside his teammate. It's a Renault lockout of the front row. Great qualifying laps from those two.
That's the first.
And how about that? Bandcamp back on pole. It's been a while.
But now Houses a getaway from pole.
So we got Bandcamp there, pole position. His teammate Skins alongside. We got Major Payne there filling in for Mercedes in P3. We got Ali, Quantum, Combat, Mr. Spicer, Baitmate, Wingman, and Bluey. We've then got Saxa, Decelerate, Psycho, Vasa, Mika, King J, Nut, Andocat, Conrad, setting a time on the intermediate tyres with 6 seconds off the pace, and Shane Mumford for Ferrari not setting a time. Should have stuck to football. But anyway, we've got 10 seconds until the race session, so we are expecting a dry start with the possibility of heavy rain at the end. So it's going to be a very spicy one. Stick around. You won't want to miss that at all. Alright, just load into the race session. Just be a few moments while we wait for the drivers to load in and select their strategies for the race. So they'll have free choice of tyre because it was a wet qualifying session. So I'd expect most will be starting on the medium tyre if possible. We saw the hards didn't really have any pace at all in the Tier 1 race a bit earlier this evening.
One stop is the worst strategy.
Yeah, we saw that from, I believe Flyboy started on the hard tyre, and we had Geordie as well changed from the softs to the hards at his first pit stop. And yeah, while he was running up at fourth, yeah, he did drop back through the field once the drivers pit for their second set of mediums. So I think soft medium is definitely the way to go. Soft medium, medium, maybe soft medium, soft if you're good with your
medium. Soft medium is the preferred strategy.
So
I was able to gain a lot with that medium tyre.
So we've got the Renault drivers splitting the strategy. So Bandcamp going the medium, Skins on the soft. So we'll wonder if we'll see Skins be given race position.
That would be two stop for both. So Skins will probably be doing the soft, medium.
Yeah, we've got Major Payne on the soft as well. But then we've got Ali, Quantum, and Combat on the medium with Mr. Spicer on the soft. Baitmate splitting the strategy for Williams with the medium. Wingman as well on the medium. So the McLaren's going the same strategy. Bluey on the soft and Saxa on the medium, Decelerate on the softs, Psycho on the medium, so the Racing Point opting for the same strategy. Vasa on the soft, Mika, King J and Nut all on the mediums with Panda Cat, Conrad and Shane Mumford on the soft. So a few of the teams opting to split their strategies, but those who didn't, well, they'll have to hope that they don't have a safety car when their pit window is open, because they may have to double stack, and whoever doesn't have track position will lose out.
Interesting. There's no hards.
No.
I would have expected a hard tyre, at least one.
Unless they were all watching the T1 stream, they might.
Yeah, unless they watched
it. We do have
got
a bit of a spread field at the moment, so Ben's going to have to bunch up the field a fair bit.
No, AI takes control pretty early. Yeah.
So he's going to be sitting stationary for a while. So Skins probably won't have too much of a problem with that being on the soft, but Ben on the medium, so his tyres will bleed a fair bit of temperature before they get the lights. Start forming up on the grid.
Band on that inside line from turn 1. Gonna be quite interesting because Skins, if he gets alongside, he will have the inside for turn 2. So it'll be interesting to see how the Renaults play it.
I expect Skins should get track position. I think Band will let him go. He'll play the long game. All right, they're all ready. The lights coming on. The engines are revving. And they're away. Bandcamp has a decent first phase, but look at the second phase from Skins. And the Mercedes as well, having a look at the inside. So Skins has already taken the lead. He's actually hit his teammate there. No wing damage, but Bandcamp's dropped down to 4th place now as Ali is there to get through. Or is that the Racing Point? So
which Racing Point?
I think that's Combat Rat. I think he was the higher qualified than Psycho. Bandcamp having a bit of a messy turn into turn 3, and he hasn't been compromised at all though. This guy's behind, but they're looking very racy behind him. Well, pretty well behaved. I don't see any carbon fibre flying around. So I'm just going to jump back a little bit to Ali, who's right on the back of Bandcamp now. Pretty kind of stern through there. Dust fly there as well. The driver's dropped the tyre into the dirt. We've got an Alfa Romeo. Looks like they've cut the chicane there. You've got Bluey going very slow on the inside there as he gets absolutely swamped by a few of the cars. The Ferrari, a bit of contact there from the Ferrari of Shane Mumford has hit the Racing Point of Psycho, and I think once again Psycho has got wing damage on the opening lap of the race, and that was through no fault of his own at all. The Ferrari very late on the brakes, just drove basically into the side of the racing point, used it as a brake.
Saya's just having a shocker couple of races so far.
And he comes straight into the
one
pits to get this
Alpha's
repaired.
just,
Got an
one Alpha's cut him.
One of the Alpha Tauris, yeah, cut through the final chicane. And we've got Undercat in the pits as well, so Psycho's going to be very upset with that, I'm pretty sure. With the Alfa Romeo of Bluey trying to get past Accelerate. He's got the outside line there of the Alpha Tauri, and he gets the move done very comfortably. And now the Haas of Mika having a good look as well. Side by side of the run into turn 3, but the Alpha Tauri does have the line. Oh, sorry, that's a Mercedes nut. Hold position there. Jump a little bit further up the field as we've got Ali still over the back of Bandcamp for P3. So Skins has bolted Combat Rat. He's in there in P2. I want to say the strategy is Ben, but Ben's not been able to keep up with him. He's dropped off a little bit. And now Ali has a great run on Bandcamp, both on the medium tyre. Sticks to the racing line as Ali switches to the inside. Bandcamp drops into the toe just to try and minimise the distance between them.
Ollie's going to be looking to chase Combat for that DRS. Skins goes quickest.
Got to remember as well, with the threat of rain towards the end of the race, are the mediums going to last until the rain starts, or are they going to have to pit?
It depends on when it's said in the forecast, when it was coming. If it was like 40 minutes away, the 2 medium sets could possibly make it if you're careful on the tires. But if it's like plus 45, there's no point thinking about the rain, as it might not even come.
And that's the problem. If you try and do medium or try and do hards all the way to the end, you're going to be in a lot of trouble if the rain doesn't come, because you do need to change compounds. As Mr. Spicer, yeah, the hairpin with the Ferrari of actually trying to go up the inside as well, and he's got the move done on Mr. Spicer. And now Wingman's falling back into Ferrari spots as well. We do have DRS enabled this lap, so looks like they all do have it enabled. So Mercedes has made pain in P5, it doesn't have it. McLaren go very defensive there into the final chicane, but it's going to compromise his exit onto the pit straight.
Both Williams holding penalties, the only 2 cars with the penalties as well. Well, as I say that.
Yeah, we're going to flow pretty quickly now. We've got the McLaren and Mercedes side by side through turns 3 and 4. Give each other plenty of racing room though, but they are going to be slowing down and dropping back to the clutches of Batemate. They go side by side through turn 6 and 7. McLaren just in front onto the back straight.
That's a little bit tail happy.
Yeah, Mercedes got the racing line and DRS as well, so he's able to get the position back with no dramas. And we've got the Williams and Batemate's going to push it forward as well. And the 2 McLarens dropping to 7th and 8th, but there's a little bit of a run now by the McLaren into the hairpin. He's going to make a bit of a dive on the Williams. He does, locks up, and there's a bit of contact between the 2. Pushes the Williams wide. Now Wingman's going to have a decent run on them as well.
Just noticing Quantum, he likes to use a lot of ERS in the opening stages of the race. It's down to 5% on his ERS.
Yeah, and his teammate Wingman there getting through under chicane. And interestingly, at the front of the field, it looks like Skins' the socks have started to die off. Combat just 4/10 behind his brother in the Renault. Got Ali as well within DRS range, and Bandcamp back on the tail as well, so Skins is going to be going backwards in a few laps time. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1, but the Alfa Romeo of Bluey has gone round just after turn 2, and we have a full safety car. We have a full safety car, and the Alfa Romeo there missing his entire front wing there. You can see it sitting on the grass a bit further back. And it's going to be very interesting for the soft runners. 4 laps is a little bit too early for the ideal strategy, but I think it'd be crazy not to pit for mediums. I think that's...
If you're on those soft tyres, get off them now when you have the chance.
Well, we just noticed at the start of that lap, the gap between Skins and Combat had dropped. It was over a second, and it was just half a second before that safety car came out. So I think soft runners need to pit, get on the mediums. There is rain coming, so try and extend the mediums as long as they can go, and you might just be able to get away with it until the rain comes.
Yeah, me and a couple of tier 1 drivers, we did a testing session for that soft tire. We actually found out the soft tire does die very quick with the
Renaults are
high
double
fuel.
stacking. Why are the Renaults double stacking?
That is interesting.
Oh, and Skins has wing damage. So Bandcamp is being held for a long
He's holding
time.
the
And he's going to be
McLarens
blocking
well.
the McLarens as well. The McLarens have double stacked behind them. Oh, this is horrible for McLaren. Oh, they've lost so many positions there. And the Renault's going to get done as well by the AlphaTauri's double stacking in front. Oh, this is a disaster.
Oh, Ben had damage as well.
So Quantum Effect's getting past there. Oh, and Bandcamp's been held for the AlphaTauri. Oh, he's gone.
God, it's all gone wrong.
Look at that. He's gone from P3 to P18. And after qualifying on pole position, this has just been a disastrous safety car for Bandcamp. I think he would have been better off going around again.
I don't know. Would you go around again when the grid is fully bunched up and then drop to the back of the field?
He was already on the mediums. Like that.
He did have damage.
He had a little bit of damage, but you know,
even a little bit.
He would have lost maybe 20 seconds that pit stop there from being double stacked, getting the wing change, and then being held up by the car in front. If he'd gone around again, or even pit after the safety car, he probably would have lost less time because ultimately his track position, he's only got 2 cars behind him now. If he'd pit after the safety car, it would have been no different. So, and given he was on the mediums, I don't think he would have lost that much track position by staying out on his mediums he had before with the wing damage. I think that's a bad strategy call by Renault. And unfortunately, it's cost them big time.
It's also the matter of fact, when you get damaged, it can lead to more damage later on when you wear that tire.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know.
And damage can cost you good positions as well. It cost me a few good positions in tier 1.
Yeah, I mean, I guess hindsight's 20/20, but I just feel, given where he's ended up after that, he could have tried to push on, and even if it had gone pear-shaped afterwards, he would be no worse off than he is now. So, unfortunate, but
Skins on the hard tire.
Oh, Skins. Maybe not the best side. Maybe he's foreshadowing that there's not going to be any rain. I don't know.
Either way, if there is rain, it's good. If there's not rain, it's good. It's like a win-win kind of situation he's in at the moment.
Well, good news for us. The safety car is in this lap. Thankfully, the field's not too spread out, and got the green light from race control. So we see Combat's in control of the field now.
Yeah, this is a big checkup. That's a pretty massive checkup into the hairpin.
So sitting around 120 Ks. We've got to be careful that he doesn't... Speeding up, you're meant to keep a consistent speed, not accelerate slowly. And there he goes, he's gone.
He's got a tiny jump on the ollie.
Oh, there's a big collision at the back. That looks like a McLaren of Quantum Effect. It's got wing damage, I think. Can't quite tell. I thought I saw.
They're not gone. The guys at the back are not.
They've not
blinking.
gone. What?
They didn't. What?
Someone didn't go. Someone didn't follow the traffic. Anyway, back.
What the hell was just happened?
I saw cars going everywhere. I thought there'd been a collision, but they just didn't go. We got Conrad now.
They
on
were
P5.
weaving. They were weaving, still thinking Combat was holding. We kind of had a tiny Magello restart on the back of the
at least
field.
it didn't have the horrendous collision.
It could have happened.
But it very nearly did. We do have a yellow flag. We've got Bluey's gone round again in Sector 1. Now for Romeo.
That's after the first chicane.
Yeah.
Next wing. He's missing his whole left side.
And he was the one who brought out the first safety car, so unfortunately for him, he's cost Alfa Romeo another couple $100,000.
Alpha's going to go bankrupt, I think.
So Conrad there in P5 on his old softs. He didn't actually pit, which I think was a mistake as well.
I think he's regretting it.
Yeah, he's probably going to come in at the end of this lap, to be honest. It's
No,
Oh,
he's
no, he
staying
turns,
there.
turns straight in on Major Payne, forces him onto the curb and gets a penalty for his efforts.
Oh, and he's out. What
Oh,
is that?
Major Payne gives him
my.
unless there's some desync happening there, that's a bit weird. Oh, and Skins has just been checked up there by Major Payne. Major Payne's they've got Wingman in the wall. Wingman's in the wall. He's lost a bit of wing. Major Payne's been able to go through to P5. Conrad's now P6. Skins is all over the back of the Red Bull, but he's got Shane Mumford in the Ferrari all over the back of him. So a little bit of movement for the back. Wingman is still going backwards there in the first sector.
I think he's giving positions to people because he's got that damage. He's just letting people go by that don't have any damage. He's missing his whole top half of his right wing and plus that end plate, so that's pretty big. That's like orange damage, so that definitely needs to get fixed, or you're going to hit another wall.
Skins trying to get past Conroy, while also defending from Shane Mumford there. As well, DRS has been enabled again.
Two-stop has opened.
Yep, there we go. Got that strategy update there.
So you probably see Conrad in the RS's lap.
Yeah, Skins is on the inside here trying to go into turn 3. I just wonder if Conrad's got a bit of desync because he just doesn't look like he's giving any racing room at all.
I'll be surprised if Conrad doesn't go in this lap. Oh, as Shane.
Yeah, he has a bit of a lunge there at the Renault, but it's a bit too far back.
Turns in on Mr. Spicer.
You see that big wobble as well, mid-corner. Skins is pretty desperate to get past the Red Bull now. He's going on the inside. A bit of contact there as well, and he's cut across the chicane. What is that Red Bull doing? He's all over the place. And he's getting swapped now as well by Mr. Spicer.
Spicer getting very close to that exit wall.
Ben Camp's now to P15 after that safety car.
Shane picks a 3-second penalty for exceeding.
Yeah, quite a few drivers now with penalties. There's Skins and Shane Mumford going side by side through turn 2. Skins giving him a good squeeze. He's got the position. He's got very little ERS left though. My screen has got overtake stuck on, so I'm not sure if that's a glitch on my end, but he's sitting on 0%.
Who's this?
Skins.
Let me
there we go. He's turned off overtake now.
Your game is correct.
And yeah, Shane Mumford goes past Skins now into the chicane.
I think he used all of his ERS to try and get past Conrad. Conrad decided not to pit though. That's even more interesting.
Got making a move on Vassar before the hairpin, side by side. Oh, and the McLaren of Quantum Effect dives down the inside. There's collision. Oh, there's a big collision. Bandcamp's been caught up in that. We've got the AlphaTauri of Vassar's on the grass. I just want to see. I hope Bandcamp didn't pick up any wing damage.
And I hope Bandcamp is clean.
Looks like he's okay. That was clumsy. I think the McLaren there, Quantum Effect, somehow managed to profit from that. He's now up into P12 as Conrad finally pits.
Conrad's in the pit, thank God. I'll say Combat has done very well at the moment. He's actually 2 seconds or 2.1 away from Ollie. Ollie has bait nail over the back of him at the moment.
Yeah, everyone in that top half of the top 10 are kind of spaced out pretty evenly at the moment. We do have Mr. Spicer and Skins getting close to Shane Mumford again. The sort of battle in the midfield as well is looking pretty spicy. We approach the halfway mark of the race on lap 17. Still not sure. Still not sure when the rain's going to arrive, but with that safety car, that's just going to increase the chance that it's going to come in a bit earlier. Going to show me up to Batemate now, who's about to make a move on Ali on the straight towards the pits, and he gets the move done pretty comfortably there.
Good thing they didn't go side by side. That ends badly.
Quantum effect there, side by side with Psycho, the same position, gets the move done comfortably. Bandcamp up to 14th now, has got past Vassar. And sizes up Nut as well. We'll run into turn 1. Penalty starting to accumulate now. We've got 3 seconds for Batemate, Saxa, Major Pain, and Shane Mumford. 9 seconds for Mr. Spicer, 6 for Vassar, and another 3 for Decelerate, Ambercat, Conrod, and Bluey.
I wonder if some of these warnings there again, are they actually consistent? Because it can be like consistent sometimes, not other times.
Yeah, definitely. Just noticing as well, it's getting very overcast. It suddenly, the whole track seems to be under a big shadow. I wonder if that rain is not too far away.
Oh, what turn is that? The one after the back straight. I can't remember what turn it is, but on the inside curb for that, on the way to the hairpin, that is actually a very inconsistent corner. You can sometimes go on and not get a warning, and sometimes you're barely on it and you get a warning.
Yeah, Bandcamp there just getting past Nut for P13. We're noticing as well Saxa and Kingshay both pitting. They started the race on the medium, so they're not able to push those any further. So they'll be coming onto the soft. So they're... Oh, actually, Kingshay's on the soft and Saxa's on the medium. So softs will last about 8 to 10 laps, especially if they're fresh. We've got a yellow flag. We've got a Red Bull of Ali has gone around. I think, yeah, he's picked up. He's in the wall. He's in the wall. So that's turn...
Oh, that's
7.
He's got end plate damage.
And he's trying to do an Austin Powers 20-point turn to try and avoid going onto the racing line there. And
he's done very well.
He's dropped all the way down to 16th now.
Oh, he's missing his whole left side.
Yeah, that's not great. He'll have to come into the pits.
That's gonna hurt, especially since the rain is near.
Actually, it's starting to rain now. I'm on board with Bandcamp, and there are raindrops. So, Ali... Oh, it's not going to be wet enough for inters. This is horrible
I've been lied
timing.
to. I've been lied. They say possibility of rain.
Well, I'm seeing definitely rain, and we're not even halfway yet. Bandcamp looks very racy over the back of Psycho. He's actually hit the back of the racing point there because he's just carrying so much speed. He's still got his whole front wing there, and he's up to P9 now. Side by side through turn 1 and turn 2. Bandcamp having to take the dirty side of the track. The race point holds the inside line. And he's just pulling out in front. No, Bandcamp's got the position. So Psycho backed out there even though he had the inside and he was in front.
That corner is not somewhere to go side by side. And I'm seeing Ali on it.
Well, Ali, I mean, he had no other choice. Like, it was a horrible time to break your front wing because it starts to rain. You know the wet's going to come out soon.
Now, here's the question. How quickly does it get wet?
Yeah, it's only just spitting at the moment, and I can't see any standing water, so I think it's going to be a couple of laps yet, but...
I'm going to watch Ali here.
It just depends if he loses 30 seconds over the next couple of laps from having slower tyres, or if the pit stop a bit quicker later on.
Bluey's just gone... Oh, he's already lost. He's losing quite a bit of time.
Bandcamp getting past Mika on the straight after the hairpin. He's on a charge. He's on an absolute charge.
Oh, he's absolutely overheating into the tyres. If it's wet within the next lap, Ali should be fine.
Saxa getting past Vassar there at turn 3. Some pretty fresh medium tyres there, so they got to make short work with the Alpha Tauri. Back up to Bandcamp. A little battle there for P8. Got Mika just dropping off the back of him now, but Psycho very close to Mika.
Skins actually fell off the back of Mr. Spice. He didn't need it would have been nice if he kept that gap, because he could have had that DRS pull him along. We got Batemate into pit lane.
We've got a sector 3 yellow. Looks like Undercat's had a little bit of a spin.
As we got enters. We got enters for bait, mate.
Oh, I think it might be a little bit too early for that. A little bit too early.
Let me go on board. Yeah, there's no wet patches. And Ollie's still struggling a tiny bit.
Just noticing as well, Quantum Effect has got up to P5 now, so he's just behind Skins, but there in the background is Bandcamp, so doing really, really well to make their way back up through the field after the early incidents. Looks like it's a little bit harder though to make the corners. Braking zones are getting a little bit longer. Cars understeering a bit more as the track gets greasy. Sacks out over the back of the nut, heading into the hairpin.
Gone a bit wide. Skin's gone wide at the hairpin. It allows Quantum to catch up a tiny bit. I think it's DRS will be disabled this lap or next lap.
So Renault comes in, Skins pulls the trigger. Is Bandcamp staying out? Yeah, he's not risking a double stack again. Boys, he nearly loses the rear there off the curb there.
And he's going to have PTSD from that double stack.
That was a horrible double stack. It had shades of Red Bull Monaco 2016.
The pit crew wasn't ready.
Nut still holding on to P9 from Saxa. We see Skins going onto the intermediate tyres, so...
I still think it's too early.
It is a little bit, but I just wonder if Skins has decided to take one for the team. Just, you know, I know I'm about to lose positions to Quantum Effect. Let's get out of that battle and see what we can do with the inters.
I'm looking on board with Nut on his mediums. He's actually having a tiny bit of issues with his traction.
Ooh,
I don't know if that's
chicane there.
I don't know if that's his tires are going or it's some rain.
Yeah, we're definitely pretty close to the crossover period. Generally, the Ferrari is a massive lock-up and did well to avoid running into the Mercedes there at the hairpin. Generally, look at the traction as Shane Mumford speeds in the pits. Looks like they're all coming in now. I think this is it.
I think it's time to switch.
Let's see if they can all make it into the pits without speeding. I think most of them I think Bandcamp was pretty much it didn't speed.
Shane has just made a big mistake.
Bandcamp has a much better pit stop this time. No, he is held by the racing point of Psycho.
Shane is on fresh mediums.
Oh no! Oh no! The Ferrari driver.
No,
they put on the wrong tyres.
Oh, Ferrari mechanics are monkeys.
Bandcamp comes out of the pits just in front of his teammate Skins, so it looks like he's been able to get the overcut by staying on the slick tyres just that extra lap, and he's been able to jump his teammates. So, Bandcamp has a penalty. Bandcamp has a 3-second penalty for extending the track limits.
You've never seen that one.
Captain Clean is an imposter.
Screenshot it.
I see Nut has stayed out on the medium tyres, so he's losing a lot of time. Baitmate in front of him there on the intermediates.
A lot of penalties.
Yeah, almost every driver has a penalty now. You can see them all flashing up on the screen. So we have just passed the halfway mark of the race. We've got 16 laps to go.
Oh, I think Mika disconnected just before pit entry last lap, and his AI didn't go in.
We've got Nut has just gone around on the exit of the hairpin. He's able to do a flick turn, but those mediums are struggling as he spins off nearly into the wall again. Those mediums are
Mika's AI goes into pit lane now to collect those inters. Hopefully it's his inters. Yes.
Yeah, he did just jump back on board, so luckily he's been able to do it. We've got an Alpha Romeo has gone around. I think that might be Bluey again. He's on the medium tyres, brand new medium tyres and I think he just reset the track as well. So
no, he didn't. He didn't. I can confirm he didn't.
Yeah.
He did a spun around in front of other drivers. That was a bit fishy.
Luckily, he's dead last, so he ghosted for everyone, but obviously would have been a bit of a fright for them coming through. As we lose a lot of intervals because of Mika rejoining.
In the wet. someone doing that in the wet will give you a fright, and sometimes you put it in the wheel by mistake.
Shane Mumford still on the medium tyres up in P4, has lost a ton of positions this lap. He's completely locked up the tyres going into the hairpin. He's got a Red Bull around at turn 2. I think that might be Conrad. No, it's Ali. Ali has spun at turn 2. Obviously Shane Mumford is, really struggling with the wrong tyre choice there.
I think I've cursed Ollie this race, to be honest. I said good luck to Ollie before the race started.
Ferrari nearly hitting the back of Quantum Effect there. He's came into the pits, but thankfully no harm done. As Van Camp moves up to P6, skins up to P7.
Shane has to serve his 5 second for speeding a couple laps ago. To me, I kind of want to see the whole grid have a penalty, at least one.
Well, we're not too far off it. Combat Rat, Psycho, Shane Mumford, and King J, the only ones not to have one. We've got another yellow flag there in Sector 1. Looks like the Alfa Romeo again at turn 2 this time.
What's that? Louis still staying on his knees.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. That's, I imagine he's going to get spoken to after the race. So not particularly good sportsmanship if you're on the wrong tyre on purpose. It's Conrad. It's pit onto the full wet tyre, so it's an interesting choice.
Can we have any more shenanigans in this race? So Wingman sent down the inside of King's Day at the hairpin. Guess we've done very well.
Mercedes of Nut, I think, has just had a little incident.
Yeah,
on the back straight. No harm done there. So Quantum Effect closing right up to the back of Baitmate now for P4.
Major Pain closing that gap to Combat is just grown a tiny bit now. It was going down. As Boy, he's now in the pit lane for into the icing.
So seeing the deltas blow out a little bit. We do have Wingman closing in on the back of Vassa.
Boy's just put on mediums. So I expect Boy's gonna have to talk to after this. Sure, is gonna have a word, I think.
Wingman making a move on Vass up on back straight. Gets done pretty comfortably. Further up now, Quantum Effect. Just 2/10 behind Baitmate now for P4. Passing's going to be a little bit trickier now without DRS. It's all going to be about the run you get out of a corner. Conrad has had a bit of a spin as well. He's on those fresh wet tyres, but it doesn't look like the track is quite wet enough at the moment. As Codemasters decides to give me an angle from the rear of the car that's following. And Bluey leaves the session, so hopefully it's all sorted. We've got 11 laps to go now. Closest battle on track here is between Baitmate and Quantum for P4. There's a couple of tenths in it. Every other gap is a little bit over a second. Mons, I don't think this is a track to hate. I think a lot of people love this circuit. It's just during a race, it's so hard to be consistent and stay within the track limits. It's so easy to pick up a warning, and especially given it's wet here in Tier 2, it's no wonder most of the drivers are picking up some more warnings and penalties. Sectors 2 and 3 as we've got Conrad there just staying out of the way of the lead cars. Bandcamp just 1.6 seconds away from Quantum Effect now, so he's been able to close that gap right up after being all the way down in 17th. He's now just P6.
Still lost pole. Can't be happy.
Yeah, a bit of bad luck there. As
he had to double stack.
Quantum's coming into the pits, and so is Batemate. So
are they going to try full? I think this is full wet, almost
surely
full wet.
not. It's not heavy enough rain. He's got a 5-second
full
penalty
wet
and
tires.
Full wets, but interesting. It didn't quite look heavy enough for rain, but obviously we know that it was meant to be heavy rain by the end of the race. So interesting though, no one else in the top 10 decided to pit. It was just those two.
This could be a big brain move or
smooth brain move.
Yes. Smooth brain.
We'll see. We'll see. The film allows. We see another driver coming in. That was Bluey at the back, but that would be Bluey's AI deciding that no medium tyres are not the right tyre for this condition. But it will be interesting to see what he puts on as we see Decelerate there going past King J at turn 1.
Let's have a look, and his AI is putting on the inters.
Okay, so obviously the computer thinks that it's intermediate conditions.
But sometimes the computer's wrong.
It can be. So, especially in the crossover period, it's so hard to tell what the right tyre is. You see there, Undercat going out.
Sometimes Jeff has a hard time. Spain, he was giving a lot of drivers in Tier 1 the wrong information.
Yeah, Jeff's not the most reliable of engineers. Bit of a T-Mac, but yeah. You see Saxa closing up to the back of Psycho, just under a second.
Skins another 3-second penalty. I think that's 9 seconds for Skins. I'm just going to go through penalties. So Major, Band, Saxa, Baymay, Shane. No, never mind. Don't. Mika, Wingman, Andocat, Nut, Ollie. All 3 seconds. We got Mr. Spy, Skins, Shane, Quantum, Vassar, Decelerate, Conrad and Bloy all above that. Most of them seeing 6 or 9 seconds. Vassar's the only one with 12.
Thank you so much for the follow, Garbs to G. And Pepsi there just running through the penalties. We've got quite a few at the moment, but a couple of drivers keeping it clean. Psycho, Combat, so both racing points. We've got King J in the Alfa Romeo and Endercat in the Haas. So we jump a little bit further back. We've got Wingman and Quantum swapping positions. Wingman there on intermediate tyres, Quantum on the wets. Mika as well as pit for the wet, so has Endercat. So a couple of other drivers thinking that it's wet enough for the extreme tyres. But I don't know, most of the lead drivers, particularly the most experienced ones in the field, still staying out on the intermediate. So I think they'll be trying to go to the end unless it gets any heavier. Bandcamp almost within a second of Mr. Spicer, but Saxa here just 0.6 behind Psycho. So on slightly fresher intermediate tyres than the Racing Point. Oh, and the Ferrari just grazing the DHL signage on the outside there of turn 4.
Alright, King J into pit lane. I'll have a look at what tyre he decides. He's going wet, so I think we're actually in full wet at the moment. The rain's going a lot heavier.
Yeah, you just see there from the offboard shots, it is starting to bucket down. Be interesting to see what the race leaders do.
I think we got the conditions from quality.
Shane Mumford's still catching up to Batemate though. Look at that time. Batemate's really struggling on the full wets.
You know, he's losing time as soon as you say that.
It's definitely the crossover period. We got the Red Bull just going straight on at the hairpin there, locking out the fronts. Saxa just about to make a move on Psycho, decides better of it at the final corner.
So the lead 3 cars or lead 4, lead 5 are not deciding to pit. Psycho stays out with Saxa. So some cars actually not biting the weather bullet.
Yeah, just looking at Batemate, he is losing a lot of time to the Ferrari, who's on the intermediate tyre.
Quantum's in.
Well, he did pit for the wets a little bit earlier, unless he's gone on inters, so he's gone back to inters. I'm not sure if he picked up some wing damage though, because he was losing a lot of time though.
He did not.
Yeah, okay, so it's just the tyres aren't right, so I think those who are on the wets have made the wrong decision. It does look like it's gotten a little bit lighter again though, from some of the onboard shots, but it's hard to tell. Like we saw in qualifying, it looked like it got really heavy for a little bit, then it got lighter. It's a bit tricky to tell in this game sometimes. Bandcamp's within a second, and Mr. Spicer is all out to P4 now. Saxon's got a very good run on the racing point this time, out of the hairpin. But it looks like Psycho might have a little bit more overtake. Oh, not a great deal more. Saxa not quite able to get the job done into the final corner, but he's got a great run out of the Wall of Champions. Psycho covered the inside on the straight, a single file into turn 1. Just looking at the lead as well, Major Pain's been... Oh, actually, Saxa and Psycho going side by side there. Just for a brief moment, and Saxa couldn't quite get the traction on the inside, and Psycho able to keep it around the outside and hold position. Major Pain there was just catching up to Combat. He's around about the second mark now, so he's been able to close the gap for the lead. He does have penalties, though. Bandcamp as well, just 6/10 behind Mr. Spicer for P3.
So... Band, at the moment, as it stands, he will get P3 on penalties if he doesn't make the overtake. Psycho will actually get... Oh, no, Psycho won't get P4. My bad.
Sector 2 yellow flag, which is at a Red Bull. Have a bit of drama on the back straight. All cleared now, though. Saxon and Psycho still just a couple of tenths apart now. Sax picking up some penalties, trying to attack the curves a little bit too aggressively. He's got a very good run though out of that final corner, but not quite good enough to get the move done. Psycho's a little bit more together this time around at turn 2. Doesn't leave the door open for the Ferrari. Covers the inside as well on the run down to turn 3.
Major Pain just getting within that second mark now. Major Pain has actually been very impressive today. Came into Discord before the race, tells everyone I haven't touched the games in 6 months. And he's P2.
Yeah, you had a lot of pace in Tier 1, it just he didn't have... wasn't able to commit to the time slot, unfortunately, so it's great to have him back and to see him do so well. Unfortunately, he's got that penalty looming over him, so he may not finish on the podium, or definitely won't get the win even if he passes Combat, unless...
He will get P2 as it stands.
Saxon Psycho still battling for P6. Psycho's going, oh, he's spun him around, he's spun him around! Oh, the racing point's gone into the wall. Saxa just tapping the rear of the racing point and spun him around. Base mate has gone through as well, so it's Shane Mumford.
Here comes Wingman now.
I'm not sure if Psycho's picked up any wing damage. He hasn't. I think luckily he ghosted before he went into the wall, but he's lost a ton of places there, and that was, yeah, not a clean move there by Saxa.
Saxa, oh, Psycho holding no damage. I'm gonna have a look at Saxa now for damage.
Meanwhile, Major Payne making a move on Combat Rat for the lead of the race. He's got the inside line into the final corner, and the racing point has to yield. When Major Payne goes into the lead of the race, he's now got to pull out another 3 seconds in order to hold on to this race victory. He's got 3 laps to do it as we start lap 32.
Surprisingly, both cars did not sustain damage.
Yeah, I think the game decided to ghost them both, even though the collision model still picked it up. Bandcamp now 7/10 behind Mr. Spicer. And Shane Mumford is caught back up to Batemate, who's in P6 at the moment on the wet tyres, but he's dropping away from Skins. You see that delta sitting around the 6.5 second mark. Does look like it's got heavier again though, so maybe they'll start coming back towards the wet runners a little bit. Batemate, you can see the delta is starting to drop a little bit to Skins now. Skins is on 14 lap hold inters, whereas Batemate's on 7 lap hold wet. Yeah, that delta is slowly dropping, but not quite enough for him to be able to pass him on track before the end of the race. Major Payne has got the gap out for the lead to 1.5 seconds, so he's on track to get the win on merit.
I did not expect Major Payne to
I think he's being held up a bit by the racing point for a fair bit. Now he's able to really push through those corners. He's just got to be careful he doesn't pick up another penalty, because that will ruin his chance of getting the win.
I'm gonna have a little look. Major Payne. So he got his penalty in the dry. He has not had a single warning since that penalty. So he has some warnings on his sleeve that he can throw away to gain time.
Ooh, I think Skins has had a bit of a drama. Actually, the Ferrari there just going into the wall, I think. Yeah, we've got Shane Mumford has just lost his left end plate. And Skins has also lost his right end plate. I did notice in the deltas that he was dropping off the back of Bandcamp. And he's damaged there, his end plates, both end plates.
And as all that was happening, tired on
Skins, really?
Come on, that's some good points. Wingman did get past Psycho just beforehand. Now Wingman's gone.
I think he's picked up a puncture as well, Skins. So his rear left is blown. But yeah, I don't know why he retired on track. He could have still got it back.
Is this car there? I want to see his car. Is it still moving?
Yeah, it's still moving on the back straight. It's at the chicane just under the bridge.
Ollie, the car's in front of Ollie.
Bandcamp up to P4 now. He's just half a second behind Mr. Spice up.
Major Payne is flying. A 2.1 second gap now. He needs an extra second to get that win. Psycho, he's going to be quite happy at the end of the race. He's going to jump up to P5 because of all these penalties.
The Haas of Mika has just retired. We're just going to jump on board with Conrad, see if we can see that. It's happened at turn 4 by the looks of it. I think he's hit that DHL wall. Yep, he's gone in pretty hard. Looks like he popped the rear right off the rim.
I think he spun it on entry. That looks like a spin on entry straight into the wall. Now, the gap is 2.4, and Major Payne has no fuel to...
no.
He has no fuel to use, so he's going to have to go standard or lean. One of the Rebels, I think that's Conrad right there.
Bandcamp, meanwhile, just 3/10 behind Mr. Spicer for P3.
He will get up placed due to a lot of penalties.
A yellow flag in the hairpin. Not sure what's happening now. I think there's an Alfa Romeo going very slow, a Red Bull as well. Both of them laps, so they're ghosting. Bandcamp has had a mega run out of the hairpin though, just 2/10 behind the Williams. Is he going to be able to make a move into the final corner?
I think Combat's going to win.
Major Payne comes across the line in first place, but he does have penalties. Bandcamp's made the move on Mr. Spicer before the chicane. Combat Rat ends up winning by 3/10. Bandcamp comes across the line in P3, and Mr. Spicer will come across the line in P4. Now Sachs is about 28 seconds behind, so I think the penalties on Mr. Spicer will not matter.
No, it won't. Because Mr. Spicer had 9 seconds to his name.
It's going to drop back to Batemate and Psycho. Psycho's finally managed to catch back up to him and get the move back after that little spin that he had after contact with Wingman. They're drag racing all the way to the end. He's got track position now though, and he does beat him to the final chicane and will come across the line in 8th place, but he doesn't have any penalties. Will he make any more? He goes up to P5, so great result there for Psycho and a great result for Racing Point, finishing 1st and 5th. Vassar comes across the line in P10 to get the final point of the race. Will Quantum Effect be able to jump up on penalties? I think he might have a couple, and he does as he crashes into the wall. And Accelerate will come across the line in P12. Nuts will finish 13th, just 18 thousandths of a second behind Accelerate. And just waiting for, I think, Conrad is the last driver to finish the race.
No one is going to get the fastest lap point as Bluey had it in the dry period. So Bluey will take that fastest lap, but he won't get a point because he was P20.
Driver of the day there, Shane Mumford, did have a pretty decent drive there for the Ferrari driver. Managed to get up into a decent points position at the end. And there we go. Combat Rat gets his, I think that's his first win for Tier 2. Is it?
I'll have a check.
It might be.
I think it is.
I think he's come close. He's finished on the podium a few times, despite what Nuts Hall of Fame records suggest. But I think that is Combat Rat's first win. Oh, congratulations.
No, I believe he won last season for Tier 2. He won the races.
Possibly. It's definitely his first race win for this season, though, so congratulations either way. Major Payne, great return to AFR Racing, finishing P2 for Mercedes, and Bandcamp, great to see him back on the podium again in P3. Unfortunately, he got held in the pits for a very, very long time, which put him all the way down to 17th. But I think it was a fantastic recovery there. Mr. Spicer there finishing 4th, Psycho 5th, Saxa 6th, Wingman 7th, and Shane Mumford, Batemate, and Vassar. So Shane Mumford started dead last on the grid and got up to 8th place, so great work by him. Outside the top 10, we had Quantum Effect, Accelerate, Nut, King J, Ali, Andercat, Conrad, Mika, and Skins, with Bluey also leaving the session a bit early. That's it from us here at AFR this evening. I've been Gus Strauls. This has been Apollo Pepsi. We'll be back on Thursday night. We'll be doing some more iRacing in the GT3 series, so that'll be starting at 8:30 PM Melbourne time. And on Friday night, we will be having our Formula 2 series, also starting from 8:30 PM Melbourne time. And then we're back next Sunday for our next AFR race, which I will bring up just in a second. We'll be at Mexico, so that'll be on the 9th of May from 7 PM Melbourne time. So I hope you can join us for that. Thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.